Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Hinojosa and I'm part of Centro's GIS team. In this session, I'll give you a walkthrough of the available layers related to housing and community development using our web map application. Just a side note, we're in the process of adding and updating layers. The purpose of this session is to provide a summary of progress on our GIS platform for housing and community development. If you have any questions, we'll have a Q&A after this presentation. So let's begin. The first part of this session, I'll give a quick overview of what is GIS. Second, I'll briefly discuss the available geospatial layers we currently have on our housing and community development web map. Third, I will guide you through some case studies, but more importantly is to show you how you can create maps through our web map applications. And lastly, I will conclude our session with a Q&A. What is GIS? GIS is a technology that allows users to make maps and analyze data. It allows you to gather, manage, and analyze data. It combines powerful mapping and visualization with a strong data integration and analysis and modeling framework. GIS can be used to solve the location-based questions such as what is located here. You can combine elevation data, river data, demographic, and land use data, and many more to show information about landscape of your community. For example, in our recent school closure report, we found that school-age children population sector is declining, especially at a faster pace during Hurricane Maria. We also found that the elderly population is increasing. So what does this have to do with natural disaster and housing community development? Perhaps you would like to build senior housing in particular areas, or reuse homes that were not damaged during Hurricane Maria. So a few questions you may ask could be, is this home located in a flood zone? Is this structure built in an area where landslides occurs? So lastly, with GIS, we can understand what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. So now let's begin with an overview of the available layers in our Data Hub inventory. Thematically, we have layers related to housing, to natural disaster data, which is primarily data from FEMA, land zones, demographic, and critical infrastructure, such as police stations, fire stations, the location of hospitals, dialysis centers, and schools that are open and closed. So in this slide, you will see all of our layers that is currently available to you in our Data Hub. The layers that we just uploaded are the 2018 Social Vulnerability Index at the county and census tract level. We've also uploaded the 2017 population characteristics of those who live in the landslide areas, and then we'll be updating that to the 2018 data in the coming week. We also have the 100-year and 500-year floodplains. So I'm not going to read every single layer that we just uploaded, but this should just give you a sense or an idea of what we currently have available. These are the data layers that we are planning in releasing in the coming weeks. But the two layers that we're hoping to work on during the summer and into the fall semester is to have the complete layer of the blue roof tarps with the timestamps, and also the solar panels located in residential, commercial, and rural spaces. Before I create any maps or take on any project that requires map or creating a web map application, I always think about the following questions: who, what, when, where, and why. It always helps to know what is the purpose of your map. What are you trying to show? What are you trying to illustrate? And for who? For this session, we know Puerto Rico was plagued with natural disasters like hurricanes, landslides, flooding, and now the recent earthquakes, which disrupted many communities throughout the island, resulting in loss of life and injuries both mentally and physically, and property damages. Just keep that in mind when we start going into the web app. So here's the link to the web map. And you could do this from your laptops, your tablets, from your phones. Click on the web map and give it a few seconds to load. And I won't be going through every single layer, but it's just to show you the app right here. You have your map right in front of you, so you don't have to be GIS experts. It's a very user-friendly tool, but again, it's just you need to know what map you're creating and what's the purpose of this map. And you have this icon where you could zoom in, you could zoom out, so you can play around with that. And then I'm going to go straight to Comerío. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see details and base map. The base map, basically you could change how you want your map to look like. So if you don't want any labeling, you just want a light gray canvas or a dark gray background or just the satellite imagery, you could change that. So it's as you please. But I'm just going to keep the same base map for now. Underneath base map, you will see about, content, and legend. Let's just go straight to the content. Click on content and all the layers will upload. Every layer that you see, you will see a box on the left-hand side. When you click on that box, you're selecting that layer. Let's click on the 500-year floodplain. So now we see the 500-year floodplain polygon. Now let's zoom in to a particular area within this county. And what this shows you is that some building structures are located within the floodplain. Now let's add another data layer. If we add the damages, let's add public housing. So we see that public housing area is pretty close. And if we add the 2017 Social Vulnerability Index, what we see here is that this floodplain actually is within an area that has a very high social vulnerability index, and we have a public housing in this area here. So if you click on that area, a pop-out box will show. It'll give you all the information that pertains to that specific area related to social vulnerability index. This is helpful for community planners or emergency planners, because what this shows you is that it's an area that's socially vulnerable, and if a disaster were to hit, it'll take a long time for that particular community to get back on its feet if it's facing social or economic issues. If you want access to the data, right, underneath each layer, you will see 4 icons. You will see the icon which shows you the legend. Next to it, if you want to see the table, click on the table, and underneath the map, you'll have details in that particular table. So for example, in this particular area, we'll outline all the counties and the socioeconomic index, household composition disability index. So all the information that relates to that specific geography, it will show in this table. So now if you want to print or share your map, you could definitely do that, either selecting the print or the sharing button. So all of our layers are here, and it just depends on what is it that you want to map, what do you want to illustrate. In conclusion, we did a very quick recap of what is GIS, especially what is GIS in community planning. We did an overview of Centro's Housing Community Development web map. I also went through a list of the available and forthcoming geospatial layers, and we reviewed some case studies. One key takeaway is that Centro's community planning is a visualization tool created to support community visioning exercises. So hopefully with this tool, it will enable you to know more about your community and what changes that needs to be made or things that you may want to improve. Thank you. Here's my contact information. It's jhinojosa@hunter.cuny.edu, and I'll take any questions.